You walk in the door after a long day, you're tired, maybe even a little stressed, and all you want to do is relax. You see it right away. The trash can has been tipped over. Garbage is everywhere. It's a mess, and you can't help but feel a surge of frustration. Your dog walks up to you. He seems to sense your mood immediately. He has his head down, almost as if he's ashamed. His tail is tucked between his legs, a classic sign of submission. He won't make eye contact. Guilty, you think. We've all been there. It's a scene many dog owners know all too well. Dogs often act like they feel guilty after doing something wrong, but is that really what's happening? But what's really going on? Is your dog truly feeling guilty, or is there something else at play? Dogs are smart, but they don't think like us. Their brains work differently. They don't have the same sense of morality. They don't understand right and wrong in the way humans do. This means they don't feel guilty in the same way humans do. Their emotions are different. So, why the guilty act? It's all about communication. Dogs are masters at reading human emotions. Dogs have learned to read our body language. They can pick up on the subtlest of cues. They know when we are upset. They can sense our anger, frustration, and disappointment. The guilty look is actually a way of trying to appease us. Think about it. It's their way of saying, I know you're upset and I'm sorry. Your dog knows you won't be happy about the mess. He's seen this reaction before. He's seen you get mad before. He remembers your previous reactions, so he tries to calm you down by acting submissive. It's a survival tactic. He's saying, please don't be angry. It's a plea for peace. This behavior has worked for dogs for a long time. It's a strategy that has been passed down through generations. It helps them avoid conflict and stay safe. By showing submission, they ensure their place in the family. Researchers have studied this guilty behavior in dogs for years, trying to understand the underlying reasons behind it. They wanted to know if dogs really feel guilt, or if there's something else at play. The results are quite fascinating and reveal a lot about canine behavior. Studies show that dogs do not link past actions with our punishments. Instead, they are reacting to the immediate situation. They simply respond to our cues, such as our tone of voice, facial expressions, and body language. This means they act guilty because they are reacting to our anger or disappointment, not because they understand what they did was wrong. In one study, researchers told dog owners to scold their dogs, regardless of whether the dogs had done anything wrong. Interestingly, the dogs displayed guilty behaviors even if they hadn't actually done anything wrong. Guess what? The dogs still acted guilty. They showed the same submissive behaviors as if they were actually guilty. They showed the same submissive behaviors, such as avoiding eye contact and lowering their bodies. This tells us that the guilty look is more about avoiding conflict than feeling remorse. It's a way for dogs to diffuse tension and avoid further scolding. Dogs are masters of reading our emotions. They are incredibly attuned to our feelings and reactions. They pay close attention to our tone of voice, picking up on subtle changes that indicate how we are feeling. They watch our facial expressions closely, trying to understand our emotions and intentions. They even notice subtle changes in our body language, which can give them clues about our mood. All of this helps them figure out how we're feeling and how they should respond. And when we seem upset, they go into appeasement mode, trying to make peace and avoid conflict. Lots of things can trigger your dog's guilty act. It's not always a mess. Sometimes just coming home to an excited dog can trigger it. They're so happy to see you, but they also know they weren't supposed to be on the couch. Have you ever tried to give your dog medicine? Many dogs will act guilty when they know it's time for pills. They may hide, tuck their tail, or avoid eye contact. They associate the medicine with something unpleasant. Even a change in your routine can be a trigger. If you're stressed or tired, your dog will sense it. They might act guilty even if they haven't done anything wrong. They are just trying to figure out what's going on and make you feel better. Section 4. Why we love to see it. There's something universally heartwarming about seeing our furry friends display what looks like human emotions. Even though it's not real guilt, we can't help but smile at the guilty dog look. It's a mix of amusement and empathy that tugs at our heartstrings. It's hard to stay mad at those puppy dog eyes. They seem to say, I'm sorry, even if they don't truly understand what they've done. It's endearing to see our dogs trying so hard to please us. Their efforts to make us happy, whether by bringing a toy or wagging their tail, are simply irresistible. It reminds us of their love and loyalty. These small gestures reinforce the deep bond we share with our pets. The guilty dog phenomenon also taps into our human tendency to anthropomorphize. We project our own feelings onto them, making their actions more relatable. We like to see human emotions in our pets. It makes them feel more like family members rather than just animals. It helps us connect with them on a deeper level. These shared moments of perceived understanding strengthen our emotional ties. Even if it's just a trick of perception, it makes our bond stronger. The joy and comfort we get from these interactions are priceless. Think about all the funny videos and memes about guilty dogs. They bring laughter and joy to millions of people around the world. They are incredibly popular online. These videos go viral because they capture something universally relatable and endearing. Why? Because they are relatable. We've all been there. We've all seen that look of guilt, whether in our pets or in ourselves. We see a bit of ourselves in those ashamed-looking pups. Their expressions remind us of our own moments of guilt and the desire for forgiveness. Section 5. It's not always what it seems. It's important to remember that dogs don't think like humans. While we find their guilty behavior amusing, it's crucial not to punish them for it. They are simply trying to communicate with us in the best way they know how. Instead of getting mad, focus on positive reinforcement. Reward your dog when he behaves well. Use clear and consistent commands. This will help him understand what you expect from him. Remember, a well-trained and happy dog is less likely to get into trouble in the first place. So ditch the blame game and focus on building a loving and trusting relationship with your furry friend. Section 6. Share your guilty dog stories. Have you ever experienced the classic guilty dog look? We'd love to hear about it. Share your funny stories and pictures in the comments below. Let's celebrate the hilarious and heartwarming ways our dogs try to navigate our human world.